Hello, boys and girls. I know that some of you are ready to write your responses to your letter from your friend, so I'm here to help you walk you through the steps. So it's so exciting to receive a letter, and when you do, there are certain kind things to do when you want to write back to them. So we start our letter the same way that we did with our first letter, with the date on the top line to the right. So I'll show you what that looks like. Yep, turn the other way. So what that looks like, I turned my journal to the next blank page for my rough draft. Remember, this is just our practice. So here's my top line. I'm going to write the date above it. I'm going to write 4/ it's the 29th today, 29/20. And then the next thing that I do, let's get this in better view. Next thing I do, I write my greeting. So, dear, all the way to the left on the first line, dear, and then the name of your pen pal, whoever wrote you the letter. So, whoever you are responding to in the letter, you're going to write their name right here. Uppercase D for dear, dear blank. I'm going to write blank because I did not receive a letter. Dear blank. Next, you're ready to start your body. You're going to use a 2-finger indent, and then right here you're going to write a greeting. Some kind of introductory greeting, something along the lines of maybe, thank you for your letter, or I loved your letter, or getting your letter made me so happy. So I think I'll start with, thank you for your letter. Again, 2-finger indent, start our sentence with uppercase. Let me get something to lean on. My lap is kind of squishy. Thank you for your letter. Again, this is a rough draft, so it's okay if it's not your neatest handwriting. Thank you for your, looks like I'm going to run out of space there, so I'm going to start down here. And then my next line, I start all the way to the left. Thank you for your letter. Now after I write that, I want to respond to the question that they asked me. So at the end of everyone's letter, they asked a question, or maybe it was somewhere in the letter, they asked you a question. Maybe the question was, what is something you like doing at home? Or what is your favorite book? Whatever the question is, you want to answer it next. So, dear blank, thank you for your letter. And then you could say, when you're answering the question, sometimes it's helpful to repeat part of what they asked. So if they asked you, what is something that you like to do at home? I would start by saying, something that I like to do at home. So notice I repeat part of the question, kind of like in our catechism questions, how the answer always begins by repeating the question. So if the question was, what is something you like to do at home? I'm starting with something that I like to do at home is, and then write whatever that thing is. Bake cookies and read books. You would answer it with whatever is true to you. So after you answer their question, so you first write a nice introductory greeting, you answer their question, and then the next thing, you want to say something nice about what they told you in their letter. So maybe in their letter they told you about, remember in their letter they told you about the things they like about quarantine, the things they didn't like about quarantine. So comment about something, think, what is something that they wrote that I could say something about? Maybe they told you they like to do crafts while they're at home. Maybe they like that they have more time to play when they're at home during quarantine. So you could say something like, that's really fun that you get to play more at home, or I also get to play more at home while I'm at quarantine, or that's fun that you like to do crafts at home during quarantine. Say something about what they wrote. This will make them feel good, like you were listening to what they were saying. So, and then after you write that part, you make one comment about what they wrote, and then you're going to ask them a follow-up question. So you're going to continue the conversation in the letter. So if they told you that while they're home for quarantine, they like doing crafts, then you could say, "That's fun that you like to do crafts during quarantine." And then you could ask them a question about it. What kind of crafts have you been doing? And if they told you that something they like about quarantine is that they have more time to play, you could say, "I love that I get more time to play too, just like you. What is one thing, or what are some things that you have been playing?" So continue. After you make your comment, try to make your question have to do with it. It doesn't have to. Maybe your question is something totally different. Maybe they told you they like to bake during quarantine. So you say, "Oh, what kind of things are you baking?" Maybe you ask them a second question. Maybe I'm being confusing, sorry, but the 4 things you're going to include, let me turn you back around. So, dear pen pal, thank you for your letter. And then here you're writing your answer to their question. Then you're going to comment on something they wrote. So reread their letter. What is something they wrote that you could say something about? So if they told you they like crafts, you could say, "That is fun that you," I'm going to continue on the next page, "that you have been doing crafts." And then maybe you want to ask them a question after that. What kind of crafts have you been making? And then you're ready to end your letter. If you want, before you write "from" or "love" or "sincerely," you could write "I miss you" if you want to write something nice. But your closing is going to be in the middle of the page. So you write, maybe you write "sincerely" or "love" or "from." Sincerely, uppercase at the beginning of the closing, comma, and then your name goes underneath it. Mine is a little bit sloppy, but this is my rough draft. I might change some things, but this is my general rough draft. Now I've got, so mine is going to be on 2 pages. So I'm going to have to write it. When I do my final copy, it'll be on a front and a back of a page. But here, now I know I'm going to need 2 pictures. Now I'm going to start sketching my ideas for what I want to draw on my pictures. Maybe if I'm telling my pen pal that I like to bake and read books, maybe on this page I'll do me baking and me reading. And then on this page I could draw a picture of crafts. So maybe I could draw a picture of all these different crafts and maybe a big question mark in the middle. So a craft here, craft here, craft here, craft here, and question mark because I'm asking what kind of crafts you've been making. So I hope this was helpful. You're including in your letter, you're going to answer their, first you're going to say a nice introductory greeting like, "Thanks for your letter." Then you answer their question in their letter that they asked you. So that's number 2. Number 3, you're going to make a comment on what they told you in their letter. So say something nice about what they wrote you in their letter. And then the last part will be asking them another question to continue a conversation, because it's kind of to show interest in what your friends are doing. So it's helpful to have your pen pal's letter in front of you so you can always go back and reread it and look at things that they told you in their letter. I hope this is helpful, and I can't wait to see your rough drafts for your letters, and have a great day.